Okay, so this is going to be a bit of an unboxing and a review of the Brooks Adrenaline GTS 18. Now I currently use a Brooks Caldera shoe, and when I originally bought it, it was for the purpose of trail running. However, as I've started to do more road running, I wanted to buy a specific shoe for that purpose. And so it was a bit of a toss-up between the GTS 18, the Ghost 10, both of which I tried on, but I felt that the Adrenaline offered me what I'm looking for. And of course, shoes are very personal anyway, and whilst you watch these kind of reviews online, unless you've actually tried the shoe on, I really wouldn't recommend taking the plunge on any of them until you've done so, because some people do like a really cushioned sole. Some people like to feel the road, the ground beneath them. But I like something where I kind of get that feeling of floating. I do like a bit of cushioning, and so let's get into the unboxing. Didn't actually purchase it off Amazon, but the seller obviously uses this packaging. Okay, let's take a little look. Brooks box, no frills. GTS 18. This is a UK 10. That's my size. Width D. Okay. So I had a choice here. Sorry, that's probably quite loud. I had the choice here of choosing the black on black. Or this colour scheme here. There weren't too many colours available actually in my size, or at least left. This is the one I went for, which is kind of this green, blue and black combo. First impressions, really great looking shoe. Like I said, I could have gone for the black on black, but hey, when you're running you like to bring a little bit of a jazz to the party. So great looking shoe, really pleased with that choice. Kind of got this blue and black lace situation going on here. So now, my first impressions are that the sole looks very similar to kind of Caldera in the way it wraps around, the way it's created. It's got this so-called cushion support, which I can kind of test out in a minute. I will go for a run as well and kind of give a piece of feedback thereafter. But ultimately, it's a good-looking shoe here. You've got a little bit of spring in there, but it's pretty firm. There's not a lot of give in it. Some shoes kind of get this floppy sensation at the end, but this is not like that. You can see they've got a heel that supports it all the way up. I happen to like that, not everybody does. And so that, in terms of first impression, they've got this DNA technology, which is in use. You can read out more about that online. What I should also say is that if you go onto the Brooks website, you can actually purchase their shoes, use them, try them out, and if you don't like them, return them within 30 days. I don't know how many you can actually do that with. I don't think you can necessarily order a huge catalogue of them and then send all back the ones you don't want. I also don't think you could probably buy one, use it for mouth and send it back. But options are there for you, and I would recommend doing that. So what I'm going to actually do is go out and run with these shoes. Obviously I'm used to Caldera, but I'm going to run, just do a short kind of 2.2 mile run, and then post a response and a little bit of an update as to how I feel the shoe responds to me and my way of running. Of course, everybody is personal, everybody is different, but nevertheless, I really hope this is the shoe for me for road running. This is what I love about Brooks as well. Lace up and go. It is literally just that. Shoes on, ready to hit the road. Initial thoughts out of the box. Definitely a firmer shoe. More supported of the foot, but obviously it's going to take a bit of getting used to, because when you swap from one shoe to another, it's not a simple transition, but they feel fast, they feel responsive, and I'm enjoying the run so far. Okay, so I've just completed my first run, 2.2 miles in the Adrenaline GTS 18. I'm going to talk about how it performed for me personally in a moment, but interestingly enough, it may just be total coincidence. I've set 5 personal records, including my fastest ever 2 mile run. That may be total coincidence, of course. It may be down to the shoe. Who knows? I really don't know. I felt just as comfortable as I've done previously. However, it performed, obviously, in terms of time, very, very well. or maybe I just improved over time. I don't quite know. However, let's talk about how it performed personally for me. And again, it's a personal experience, and every individual is obviously very different. Now, I mentioned before that I've been spending the last 60 days running in the Caldera, which you can see here. A very different type of shoe, a trail running shoe, and a lot of support here across the arch. It's much thicker there than in the Adrenaline shoe. And I must admit, I've really, really enjoyed running with this shoe. And the only reason why I decided to buy a new pair of shoes was because I felt like a specific road running shoe would benefit me, as I previously mentioned. So there's a slight different type of sole layout here, much thicker at the back, at the rear, and that just kind of supports that heel for the heel strike as it's landing on the road. Now, in terms of how I felt, when I initially began running, I felt a little bit of pressure across here, especially on my left foot. For my running style, at least, I noticed that it wasn't initially super comfortable. But at the same time, having run for the last 60 days in one pair of shoes, switching to any other kind of shoe is going to feel slightly unusual to begin with. And of course, I'm feeling certain small pressures at different points of contact, which I maybe not have felt before because of the way that the shoe and the Caldera layout is. Now, once I really got into my stride after the first mile, these were incredibly comfortable. I felt like they really hugged my foot. It was a very tight fit, and it felt very, very supportive. Now, for me, I quite like a slightly looser fit. Just give myself a little bit more room to breathe, if you like. However, for a shoe and for a performance straight out of the box, I was really, really impressed with it. And it's one which I would say try. At least if you can do this option where you can test a shoe out, even if it's just in store, it's worth trying it on. Having mentioned previously that I did actually try this on first, I knew this was a shoe that would really be great for me, and I'm really impressed with it. I mentioned that a few times. I've used the word impressed over and over again. I apologise for that. But obviously, when you commit to purchasing a new shoe, the last thing you want to do is wear it and feel like you made a mistake. These are not necessarily the cheapest pair of shoes. This comes in at just under £100. So if I'm going to spend that kind of money, I want some sort of results, and I want feedback from my body that tells me that was the right choice to make. So that's my first experience with this, the Brooks Adrenaline GTS 18, and I will provide future updates on how it performs